Hello students, today we are going to start the third chapter of geography, mineral and power resources. So before going in detail about the mineral and power resources, let's have a look and understand that what is a resource. So everything is available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs with the help of technology to make it accessible and economically feasible, and that is termed as a resource. We have a better look with this picture. It shows that human beings interact with nature through technology and create institutions to fulfill their needs. These resources can again be classified into two types, that is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are the one which can be renewed or reproduced easily. Examples like plants and animals. Non-renewable resources are the one that need a long period of time for the formation, or resources which cannot be renewed at all. Examples like minerals, fossil fuels and soil. Now starting with the minerals for this chapter, let's have a look at this picture. So these are the colorful substances with different shapes and size. These are the naturally occurring substances with an internal structure. Minerals are not evenly distributed. That can be identified or it can be classified on the basis of their physical properties such as their color, their hardness and their chemical property. These minerals are classified as metallic. Metallic is again classified as subferrous and non-ferrous. The other classification of mineral is non-metallic and energy minerals. Now the question arises that from where these minerals are being extracted and how it is extracted. So here is the methods for the extraction of minerals, that is mining, drilling and quarrying. Now mining is again subdivided as open cast mining and shaft mining. So here we are going to read about all these techniques and methods for the extraction of minerals one by one. So starting with the quarrying, quarrying is basically used to dig out the minerals that are easily available on the surface of the earth. Next one is the drilling. This is used for drilling the petroleum and natural gases that are present far below the earth's surface layer. Next is the open cast minings. So that is used for the minerals that lie on the shallow depth and are taken out by removing the surface layers. Next one is the shaft mining. Several minerals that occur deep inside the earth, they are extracted by digging shafts or tunnels. These shafts or tunnels are underground chamber which can be reached with the help of the lifts. In the picture you can see a shaft or a tunnel has been dug out, and the number 1 and 2 are the lifts through which the people reach through these tunnels to dig out the minerals. Now here is the world map which shows the different types of minerals available at different places. On your left hand side there are the number of minerals like uranium, silver, oil, lead and zinc, iron, diamond, bauxite, coal, copper and gold. Next map is the map of our India, which shows the different types of minerals available in different states of India like limestone, dolomite, mica, asbestos and gypsum. So here we are going to read about minerals which are selected one. We won't be reading about all the minerals. So starting with the iron ore. So these are the basic minerals and backbone of industrial development found in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Maharashtra and Karnataka. It is used basically in industries, and that is why it is known as industrial development. Next one is the mica or mica. It is made up of various layers, most importantly indispensable minerals of electrical industries, used in electronic industries, and mainly it is found in Bihar, Andhra Pradesh and Rajasthan. India is the largest producer and exporter of mica in the world. Next one is the copper. India is deficient in copper deposit. Here the term deficient means not a good or a large amount of producer of copper. Copper is a malleable, ductile and a good conductor of heat. Here the term malleable and ductile means it can be easily changed into any shape that you want, and it can be also made into thin wires. These coppers are mainly found in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Jharkhand. Next one is the manganese. It is mainly used for manufacturing steel, bleaching powder and insecticides and paints. It is found in Orissa, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Next one is the limestone. So this white color stones are nothing but a limestone, and it is mainly a raw material which is used for the cement industries. It is widely distributed throughout the country and found mainly in Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. And the last one is the gold. It is mainly used for making the jewelries, and it is found in Karnataka, which is the deepest mine in the world. So with this, we have concluded the minerals. Now, as we know that these minerals are need to be conserved, so here are the different methods for the conservation of the minerals. Use of minerals in plant and sustainable manner, use of alternative source of energies like solar energy, hydroelectric energy and wind energy, etc. Having or walking on a path that leads to a sustainable development, using the mineral resources with great efficiency, use of renewable sources of energy and avoid the over exploitation of minerals. So now the second topic of this chapter, that is the power resources. So these power resources are nothing but an energy, and these energy can be classified into non-conventional energy. So conventional energies are the one that are present in our nature. We don't need to create these kinds of energies like firewood, coal and petroleum. Next one is the non-conventional sources of energy. So non-conventional sources or the non-conventional energies are the one that for which we need to create energy. Like solar energy, we need to create solar panels. For wind energy, we need to create windmills. For atomic energy, we need to create nuclear plants. So here is the picture of conventional sources of energies. You can see firewood, coal, petroleum and natural gases. So first, starting with the conventional sources of energy, let's read about firewood. Firewood is used widely in India for cooking and heating. 50% of the energy is used in villages, but now it has become difficult for the utilization of firewood. So now they have come up with a substitute, that is the using of cow dung cakes instead of firewood. Next one is the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are nothing but a dead plant and animals which are buried under the earth in sedimentary rocks for years, and these reserves are limited and are consumed at faster rate. So for the fossil fuels, let's start with the coal and petroleum. So here coal, India is the most abundantly available. Coal which we are using today was formed millions of years ago, and it is used for domestic purpose as well as for generating the electricity. The leading producer is India, China, USA, Ukraine, Poland and many other countries. Next one is the petroleum. It is found in layers of the rock and is drilled from oil fields located in offshores. It is sent to refineries which process the crude oil. Crude oil is actually the raw oil which is sent to the refineries for the processing it into a pure oil. Petroleum is also known as black gold. So students, there a question arises for the MCQs or for the filling the blanks that which mineral or the which energy is known as the black gold. So the answer will be petroleum. Now the leading producer of petroleum is Iran, Saudi Arabia, and in India we can find it in Assam and Bombay. Now coming to the non-conventional sources of energy, that is wind, solar power, biomass, geothermal, nuclear energy and hydroelectric energy. So here in non-conventional sources of energy also we are going to read about only the selected sources of energy. Starting with the solar energy. In the picture you can see these are the panels which has been combined together to generate a high amount of heat. So solar cells are joined in solar panels to generate power for heating, becoming popular in rural and remote area. This solar energy, because it is in rural area the electricity is hardly available or it is available only for a few hours. So that is why solar energies are getting very popular in rural and remote area. So solar energy can be used in the form of solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers, community lighting and street lighting. The leading producer of solar energy is Bhuj, which is located in Gujarat. Next one is the wind energy. For wind energy, we need to create windmills and were used in the past for lifting the water and grinding the grains. In modern times, the high speed wind rotates the windmill blade which are connected to the generator to produce the electricity. And the leading producer is Denmark, Spain, UK, and in India, the leading producer is in Tamil Nadu. Next one is the nuclear power. To obtain nuclear power, we need to change the structure of the atom. When this is done, a much amount of energy is released to generate the electricity. The uranium and thoriums are mainly used for generating the electricity. The leading producer of nuclear is USA, Europe, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Jharkhand, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh. So with this, the way we need to conserve the minerals, in the same way we also need to conserve these energy resources. So here are the methods by which we can conserve the energy resources, like switching off electricity when not in use public transport and carpools. Electronic devices should be serviced because we know that an unserviced device need a lot of energy. Must develop solar, wind, tidal, geothermal energy. Unnecessary illumination of home and city should be checked. Judicious use and proper management of energy resources. So students, I hope this chapter is clear from both point of view, from the theoretical and from the map point of view. And also remember that map is very important in this chapter and 1 mark question can be asked from this chapter. So with this, I end my video.